Do you ever feel stuck when trying to speak English politely? Like you know some words but can't quite say them the right way? Hi, I'm Jessica. I'm here to guide you through today's episode where we'll unlock simple yet powerful tips to boost your English skills.
And I'm Jack. Together, we'll walk you through real-life tips and stories that'll make English easier and more fun.
That's right. Today, we're focusing on polite phrases, those little magic words that make your English sound friendly and natural. You'll learn how to listen carefully and practice speaking politely in everyday conversations.
Because learning English fast isn't just about grammar or vocabulary. It's about how you use language to connect with people. So whether you're ordering coffee, meeting new friends, or chatting at work, these polite phrases will help you sound confident and kind.
Plus, we'll share some fun ways to practice your listening skills so you catch these phrases when you hear them. Ready to get started?
Let's dive in.
Jack, do you remember the first time you had to order food in English? Were you nervous?
Oh, totally. I walked into a cafe and I just said, "Give me coffee." The barista looked at me funny. Later, I learned it's better to say, "Could I please have a coffee?" Or "May I get a coffee, please?" Small words like please and could make a big difference.
Exactly. Polite phrases aren't just about being nice, they help people understand you better. When you say, "Could you help me?" instead of "help me," it sounds softer and more respectful.
Here's a quick tip for listeners. When you want to ask for something, use "could you" or "would you mind," and always add "please." It's simple, but it changes the whole feeling of your sentence.
And listening is key. When you hear native speakers, pay attention to those polite words. Like, instead of "give me that," you'll often hear, "Could you pass me that, please?"
Jessica, have you ever had a funny moment when you forgot to use polite phrases?
Oh, yes. Once I told a waiter, "I want this," but he smiled and said, "Maybe 'I would like this, please' sounds better." I laughed and repeated it. It helped me remember to use polite words.
That's a great story. It shows that mistakes are okay. What matters is trying and learning.
Right. Also, practice your listening by watching short English videos or listening to podcasts like ours. Listen for polite phrases and try to repeat them out loud.
Yes, repeating helps your mouth get used to new sounds and rhythms. Don't worry if you don't get it perfect. Practice makes perfect.
Let's try some examples now. I'll say a simple request, and you can think about how to make it more polite. Ready?
Ready.
Pass me the salt.
Could you pass me the salt, please?
Perfect. How about this? Open the window.
Would you mind opening the window, please?
Exactly. These small changes show respect and friendliness.
And they make conversation smoother. People feel happier to help when you speak politely.
Another tip? When someone helps you, say thank you or thanks a lot. It's simple but important.
Sometimes you can add, "I really appreciate it," to sound even more grateful.
Great. Listeners, try adding polite phrases in your daily life. It might feel strange at first, but soon it becomes natural.
So true. Also, don't forget your tone. Politeness isn't just words, it's how you say them. A smile in your voice makes a big difference.
Good point, Jack. Why don't we practice a short, polite dialogue? I'll be the customer and you're the shop assistant.
Sounds fun.
Excuse me, could you please tell me where the bread is?
Of course, it's right over here. Would you like me to show you?
Yes, please. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Have a great day.
See? Polite phrases help make conversations smooth and friendly.
Jessica, last time we talked about polite phrases when asking for things. But what about when you don't understand someone? That happens to me a lot.
Oh, yes. Asking politely when you don't understand is super important. Instead of saying what or huh, you can say things like, "Sorry, could you please say that again?" Or, "I'm sorry, I didn't catch that."
Those sound much nicer. I remember one time at a meeting, I just said, "What?" and everyone looked a bit surprised. After that, I learned to say, "Could you please repeat that?" It made me feel more confident.
Exactly. And it shows respect to the speaker. Another phrase is, "Would you mind explaining that one more time?" It's polite and lets the other person know you're really trying to understand.
That's a good one. Sometimes I'm shy to ask for repetition, but I know it's better than guessing and making mistakes.
Absolutely. And when you do ask, try to listen carefully the second time. Focus on key words or the main idea. You don't have to understand every single word.
Right, that's a good listening tip. Sometimes when I listen, I feel overwhelmed by all the words. But if I catch the important words, I can guess the meaning better.
Yes. For example, if someone says, "Could you bring the report by Friday?" The key words are report and Friday. Even if you miss small words, you understand the request.
Another useful polite phrase is when you want to interrupt someone, like in a meeting or conversation. How do you do that nicely?
Good question. Instead of just cutting in, you can say, "Sorry to interrupt, but," or "May I say something here?" It shows respect and keeps the conversation friendly.
I've tried that, and people appreciate it. It feels much better than just jumping in.
Exactly. Also, when you agree with someone, you can say, "I see your point," or "That makes sense." It shows you're listening and respecting their opinion.
And if you disagree politely, you might say, "I understand, but I think," or "That's interesting, but what about?"
Those are great phrases to keep conversations polite, even when opinions differ. Speaking politely isn't just about requests, it's about respect in all parts of communication.
Jessica, do you have any funny story about misunderstandings because of polite phrases?
Oh, yes. One time I said, "Could you please turn on the fan?" in a very soft voice. The person didn't hear me clearly and just smiled. I repeated louder and they finally turned it on. But then the fan was too strong and almost blew my papers away.
Sometimes polite phrases come with funny moments, but that's part of learning. It's okay to laugh at ourselves.
Definitely. Another tip for listeners, when practicing polite phrases, try to record yourself speaking, then listen back. It helps you notice your tone and pronunciation.
Good idea. Also, practice with friends or language partners. You can role-play different situations, ordering food, asking for directions, or making small talk.
Yes, the more you practice, the more natural polite phrases become. And don't worry if you make mistakes. That's how you learn.
Let's try a quick role play for asking for help politely. I'll pretend I'm lost and you're a stranger on the street.
Okay.
Excuse me, could you please tell me how to get to the train station?
Sure. Go straight ahead, then turn left at the second traffic light.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate your help.
You're welcome. Have a safe trip.
Nice. That sounds polite and friendly.
Exactly. These small phrases build good relationships and make your English sound natural. Jack, we've talked about polite phrases for asking, responding, and even when you don't understand. But what about small talk? Those quick conversations can be tricky, right?
Definitely. Sometimes I freeze when someone says, "How are you?" or "What's up?" I want to reply politely, but naturally.
Small talk is an art. A simple, "I'm good, thank you, how about you?" works perfectly. Adding "thank you" is polite and shows you care about the other person.
Right. And if you want to keep the conversation going, you can ask questions like, "How was your weekend?" or "Did you do anything fun today?"
Exactly. It's good to listen carefully to the answers. That way you can say things like, "That sounds great," or "Wow, that must have been exciting." It makes the conversation more lively.
Sometimes I'm not sure how to respond when someone shares something personal. Like if they say, "I'm a little tired today." What do you say?
You can say, "I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you get some rest soon." That shows empathy and kindness.
Nice. That sounds polite and caring.
Also, don't forget body language. Smiling and nodding show you're interested and polite. Even if you don't say much, your body speaks too.
Good point. Sometimes I forget that speaking politely isn't just about words. Tone, gestures, and eye contact matter a lot.
Right. Here's a funny story. Once I said thank you to someone with a very serious face. They looked confused, like, are you serious or joking? So my smile made the difference.
That's a great reminder. Now, what about ending conversations politely? Any tips?
Yes, when you want to leave, you can say, it was nice talking to you, or I hope we can chat again soon. It's polite and leaves a good impression.
And if you're in a hurry, you can say, sorry, I have to go now. Thanks for the nice talk. That's polite and honest.
Perfect. Being polite doesn't mean you have to stay longer than you want. Just say it kindly.
Jessica, what advice would you give to learners who want to improve their polite English fast?
Practice every day, even for a few minutes. Listen to polite conversations, repeat polite phrases out loud, and don't be afraid to try them in real life. Mistakes are part of learning.
And remember, polite English is about respect and kindness. When you speak politely, you make people feel good, and that makes English learning more fun too.
That's right. So, listeners, keep practicing those polite phrases, listen carefully, and smile as you speak. Your English will improve faster than you think.
Thanks for joining us today on the Achieve English podcast channel. We hope you enjoyed learning polite phrases and feel ready to use them in your daily life.
Before we go, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below telling us your favorite polite phrase.
And most importantly, practice what you've just learned. The more you use polite phrases, the more natural they become.
See you next time. Keep shining and speaking kindly.
Bye, everyone.